Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a really fun one. As you know, I did the reaction to Althea from Live Without a Net for my friend Ryan, and told you guys I'd come back and do a proper deep dive on how both Mayer and Garcia approach soloing this amazing track. If you're not familiar with the deep dive, it happens in 3 steps. 1, studio version. So what was the take that the improviser thought would stand the test of time to be on the record forever? It's important to think about it like that. 2, the band itself doing it live. How did the improviser do it differently live, or perhaps, like is so commonly with dead tunes, how did it change over time, right? And so we're going to do the Live Without a Net version from 3:15:90. And then, of course, we always do a cover. So what is a band that closely resembles your band, like the amount of pieces, etc., that does a great cover, so you can see how someone has interpreted both those two things, the studio and the live recordings. And who's done that more than Mayer, right? What is a better example of someone who has taken this and made it their own and is honoring the original? So we're going to do Althea, Dead and Company from 6:23:19. This is where Mayer plays Wolf. Now the idea here, guys, is we're not going to learn this note for note. Yes, I've listened to all 3 versions. I have not learned it note for note. The goal is to get the broadest of broad strokes. Try to get the idea of what the improviser may have been thinking at that time so that you can use it for you in your band, in your town, to get your own sounds in your head out. That's the idea. Now, I do recommend to each of you, whether it's this tune or any tune, to spend 3 days on a tune. Figure out every little nuance of everything you love about solos you can't get out of your head. If you do that, if you stop everything and you learn it, really learn it, the way Mayer is obviously woodshedded these tunes, then it's really going to be ingrained. But for these YouTube videos, I'm just going to show you the broad strokes of what I think they may have been thinking during these times so that you have a framework in which to work when you go to improvise. That's it. So let's start with the studio version. This is Althea, and it starts off right with the solo. All right, 2 things to point out. 1, always learn the melody of songs that you're playing, not just the guitar parts. It just so happens, though, that this tune, like many Dead tunes, the solo is a variation on the melody. So their basic structure is B minor, A major, E, A. B minor, A, E. Hit E again. Right? So you can best look at that as like a 2-1-5 in the key of A. So B Dorian, if you will. One other thing to note, that just like my friend and subscriber on the site, Heiser's Pro Disc Golf and Smoke Shop says, this is one of the best tunes to introduce people to the Dead. Because what threw me off and what throws most people off is the rhythm. It's the groove. No one has the bob and weave and the rope-a-dope like the Dead does. I like to describe it as a collective search for the middle. Those of you that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about when you can't find the middle, right? It's a collective search for that. And this, you really hear each one of the people in the band pushing and pulling on that rope to find the middle. And that's why you get so many of these little... Right? You get so many of those little push and pulls. It's like a big giant jet airplane. You've heard me use this analogy before, where it's taking off, it's real slow, it kind of like it catches some wind, but then once it gets up there, nothing soars like it when they all find the middle together. You know what I'm saying? So, this starts out. It starts out with that. And what this is, you guys know I'm all about connecting triads with melodies. That's like the whole Jerry Garcia primer. Is this B minor here, connecting to this A major here, connecting to this E major here, or here if you want to look at it. So it's a chromatic walk up to the root of B minor, to the root of A, slide from minor third to third. There's the little blues in there. That is G sharp, that's the third of E, and then back up to the root of A. That's the melody. It's B over B minor, A over A major, G sharp over E, and then A over A. And the second time it comes around, B over B minor, A over A, G sharp over E, and the second E, resolve on E. That's the foundation upon which everything is built. And little embellishments. Right? Those little Jerry pull-offs. Yeah. But always resolving back to that A whenever it goes back to that A. And that's it right there. So key takeaway for the studio solo, at least the intro one. B minor here, A major here, E major here. You're going. Right? That's that B minor, pentatonic right there, A major right here, down to the G sharp to outline that E, and then up to the A. So if you're taking a quick lead with your band, you know. Right? Tends to bounce off that E a lot. But that's it. That's the melody. That's one.
I was feeling lost, lacking in some.
Let's go up to the next lead because it's got a really cool thing. Always hear that, right? That's when it goes back to the A, hitting on that A. That's your target. You got to always know where that A is. Classic Jerry thing. Love this. Yeah. Now, if you're wondering how I picked that out of the air, I didn't. I've heard this before. I've heard Jerry do this before. And like I said at the beginning, anytime you hear something that you're like, man, that's cool, and you can't get out of your head, stop what you're doing. Learn what it is. Not just the notes, but the function the melody is taking to connect the chords. That way you have it in yourself forever to use however you wish. This, your target here is E major. What you're doing here is starting on the 4, then you're hammering or picking, whatever, but it's flat 3 to 3, G to G sharp, to your root. And once you know it's that, right, you can use it anywhere. Right, just like you did before. Right? Now you got it forever. And now you know what that sound is. Oh, see, I missed it. See, this is live. Hit. Hit. So what this is kind of like an E mixo kind of lick, right? So 4, flat 3, 3, root, flat 7, 5, root, bending the flat 7 to the 5. We can't tell if he's doing or, because we don't have video, because then he switches positions to do like a pedal bend off the flat 7, pre-bend from the 4, down from 5 through flat 5 to the 4. Listen for it. Yeah, it's so killer. Yeah, so I would do it like that. So, then clean up with the major third, mixing major and minor again. So the same thing you did here is essentially what you're doing there, and finish on the flat 7. Now let's go to the next lead because it's got a really quintessential part. There's that again.
Ain't nobody messing or getting with the beat. Smoke has cleared me to lay your head and a little sympathy.
Bobby sounds good. So now his focus switches here. Going right for that E. So now he's just deciding to say something about A here. This is just A major, right? Coming in on the 5th of A, which is E. And finishing on that E there, right? Like you did before. So hunting that G sharp. Remember, we're always third hunting. Right? And there's that third of A. That C sharp's going for it. And that little E major little dyad, G sharp and E. So what are the key takeaways here? One, he seems to alternate back and forth on the studio record from this shape here, B minor, A major, E major, right? Melody goes root of B, root of A, third of E, root of A. But then sometimes he focuses on E mixolydian, right? And then sometimes he focuses straight up on A. And resolves on that C sharp, the third of A. So it's like he's doing the melody, right? And then sometimes he's focusing on E mixer, and then sometimes he's focusing straight on A. And when he does that, he tends to focus on the E and the C sharp, the fifth and the third, respectively. Very interesting. Now, let's go on to what he does on the Live Without a Net record. Now, these live ones, I'm gonna play through. I'm gonna let them groove, and I'm just gonna keep checking my time up here to try to not let my camera turn off. Here we go. Come on. One thing to notice, on the studio record, it's like, it doesn't have that bounce back to A real quick. It's instead of right? That's something that changed over time.
I told Althea I wasn't feeling lost, lacking in some direction. Althea told me my home suits me and my back might need attention. Told Althea that treasure was terribly living for me. Althea told me, cool down, boy, and settle back, easy, Jim.
Right there, you see him thinking about the triads. You see him start here. So that's it. Again, it's all about connecting triads with melodies. That's why I made that Garcia primer course. That's why I did that as the first one. Because you see him establish the framework right away. Right here. Right? This is B minor. Like this. Second version, first version. Right? You see him pull off to that A, and then go to A like this, pattern 1, right? That's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the framework. He is visualizing B minor, A major, and E major triads and visually connecting them with the bends, with the slurs, with the chromatics. That's the Jerry framework. Now, this is something that you couldn't see on the record, but now we can see where he jumps to position. And he's doing the same thing up here. B minor like this, right? This is like your pattern 2. A major, like your pattern 3, like this, 2 or 3, and E like this. So that's it. So B minor like this, or like a D major kind of thing, because that's the same thing. A, E. So the same way you had, now it's, and those are the 2 spots. So let's see how he gets back up here. Another classic Jerry rhythm, right? Or ism. So you're on the B. Here's B, minor third of B, pull off to A, rock over straight to the E. So he didn't go, right? He went straight for the root of E. Walking up chromatically to the 5th of B minor, going over the arpeggio. Walking up chromatically to the root of the B from A sharp to B. Down. And there he does it again. So again, you're always thinking, how am I connecting this to this, to this, back to this, right? So you got chromatics in here. And he's basically using them at will. That's a slick little line. So again, targeting that minor third of B minor, which is D. Then hitting that C sharp when it goes over to A. Again, third hunting. There's your third, right? C sharp is the third of A major. And then he does. Yeah. And then hits that third of E. So, so third of A, third of E, back up to the A, and then. And then diatonic dyads in E major. So this is a piece of G sharp minor, F sharp minor, E major. Thirds leading. Third and root, third and root, third and root. So this is a first inversion triad shape omitting the second string. Classic. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 in E. Back in.
Saturday down the road, moving with a pinch of grace. Baby,
Bobby sounds so great on this.
in the burying ground. Just another pretty face. Maybe the pain of a failure, sleeping every chance to dream. Honest to the poor and the praise. Self-centered, the extreme.
I mean, you hear it right there. That. It's always that. That is your minor third in B minor. That's D. He loves to come in on that. He's probably up here. But it's just chord tone to chord tone. Minor third of D, root of A, third of E, root of A. So, right? Again, B minor, A, E, A, B minor. That's all this is. It's just connecting basic triads with basic melodies and using embellishments. That's where the real fingerprint comes in, is the use of embellishments. The actual touch on the string is what makes him sound like Jerry. But the basic framework behind what you're hearing is connecting B minor, A major, and E major triads with simple closest move melodies. That was hot. Is that what he's doing? Only Jerry does this nonsense. Bending from C sharp to D, so we're almost sounds like he bends through it. But then straight down the A major, right? So 3 off, slide through. So you got straight chromatic from C sharp, we'll bend to D, and C sharp all the way down to A. And then do it again from B, targeting, again, the first time, targeting the D, targeting the A, targeting the G sharp, it's the third of E, and now we're targeting that E. Remember, we ended on the, so that's, we're shooting for the target is D, which is the third of B, targeting A, root of A, targeting G sharp, third of E, finishing with this little major third and root of E. So again, we're still just connecting B minor, A, and E. So that's what he's doing. I love this little motif here. So, pre-bend, again, he's targeting the D, the flat 3, B minor. Hold on, let me check my camera. We're back. I was right on it. 29 minutes and like 30 seconds. You can feel it, you know? All right, so you got the... Now he's targeting... Talk about third hunting. Targeting the third of your B minor, and then targeting the C sharp, the third of A. Right? And there's your A. Triad he's trying to hit. Doing it again. now you see him, or you hear him. You're doing both, but you see him move, just like he did in the album. Move to that focus on A. So he started with that basic melody. And then you see him, you see him kind of tag like that anus of it. Moving on from that.
Nobody messes with you but you. Your friends again.
Love Bobby sounding.
Who's with the truth? Maybe it's your fire. Maybe I hope you don't get burned. When the smoke is clear, she said, it's what she said to me. All I wanna man, lay your head and a little sympathy. There are things you can
Walk down
play,
to
and others you cannot. Time has come to weigh those things. This space is getting hot. Oh, you know this space is getting hot.
So what is that? What is that? Right? Now, I would think he was shooting for the, like he did in the record, but he's just, because he's not resolving to the E, he's letting it hang on the F sharp there, which of course is the fifth of B minor. And he hits that little effect that just makes it scream through there. So G sharp, G, F sharp. Love it. And then straight to the melody. I love those little. He loves to do that. And he's muscling through that D. He does a little chromatic thing there with the diet. Going back to this piece of a D, which is also obviously B minor, same thing. Yeah. Finishing with the melody.
Told Althea I was a rolling stone.
Let's see if you got it.
Yeah, you the love we bring.
Melody. Yeah, so same deal. He goes up to that. Now he's got the moving up into a new pattern. G sharp, A, and B. Yeah. This little. Just doing the same melody here. Same here. That's why it's important to know the function of how the notes are connecting the chords, because you can use it anywhere, right? Right? Shooting for that F sharp. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So kind of working his way back through the. It's all just. This B minor pattern 2 thing, but it's just chromatics everywhere and sequencing. There it is again. So taking the top 2 notes, the D and the F sharp, the minor third and fifth respectively in B minor, bending them up together. Reestablishing the chord. There it is, there it is. So he goes down. He loves those slide-ins, but then check this out. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So he's got the B minor here. And then goes up to this B minor shape here. There's this dyad for A. Comes across this E major triad. And then dumps it all the way down to the end. Again, just connecting triads with melodies. That's the thing. That's what my whole course is about. Now you put it down there. Enough noodling. That's what he's trying to do. We're getting carried away here. We're getting feisty. All right. So now we're going to do Mare with Dead and Company. Now, first thing you're going to notice is a totally different tempo. It's going to be a lot slower. But talk about the push and pull, the rope-a-dope I was talking about, a collective search for the middle of the band. It is on full display here. The magic is thick in this one. And you'll find out right away that Mare does a lot of the same things as Jerry. Establishes the melody, a lot of chromatics, connecting those closest move triads. But he does a lot of his own stuff too, which is substantially different. Check it. See, way slow. See if you can capture where the middle is. It's all those pushes and pulls. what'd you hear there? You heard an establishing of the melody, a commitment to playing that A when the A changes, that B, A, G sharp, A. But then you hear some mere kind of chromatic stuff, but then you hear him finish with it like you hear Jerry do on both those other versions. Check this out. And hot damn, does that tone sound great with that guitar and his fingers, and I'm sure he's using his Mayer PRS amp. Clean. There's a nice rake. So what you have here, you're coming over your B minor triad with the flat 7 in it. You can look at it as D major, D F sharp A with the B. Perfect rake. Listen to it again. Now he jumps up like a blues player. You'd think he'd go, right? 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 So B, A, G sharp, back to A. Melody, that's the melody. It's like you have one first phrase and then one second phrase. He really separates his thoughts in his leads in here. And then walking straight up from A through A sharp to B, right? Minor third, rock it over, bend up to the fourth, back down to the minor third. Go back down the way you came. Rock G to G sharp. Thinking E here, right? Root, G to G sharp. Again, there's that thing. So root, slide through the minor third to major third. Root, fifth, flat 7. Do it again. Right? Now this is cool. Walking up to the 5th of B minor, just like he walked up to the root. He's going E, F, F sharp. F sharp is the 5th of B minor, right? Dude knows his fretboard. Very cool. So 5th root of B, 9 root, flat 3 finally, and then sliding from 4 to the 5 of B over to the flat 7. Come on, Mike. Yeah. Yeah. That's why okay. That is some slick shit right there. Okay, so you got... So you're coming over this B minor, and then C sharp of A, then down this E major triad, and then resolve right on that A. Always tagging that A, hitting every change. I'm getting the phrasing mixed up, but that's your basic landscape. Oh, it's because it's chromatic. That's why. So. That's a mare thing. So connecting the A, the E is the fifth of A, to the major third of A, going straight to the B, outline the E, tag the root of the A. I'll tell you something. Anyone that says this dude can't play guitar doesn't know what they're talking about. And there's that thing again. Sounds like he starts here, though. Digging it out. Look at it. Perfect example of someone who's respecting the original improviser, but adding their own flavor. There is some distinct similarities and some distinct differences in there. But if that's not authentic, nothing is. The dude is the real deal. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. And it's nice to have good video, right?
Maybe Saturday's child are wrong. Moving with a natural grace.
Checks.
You may be a clown in the burial ground, or just another pretty face.
Let's jump up to another lead. Yeah.
To the extreme.
F sharp. Yeah, again, we're hunting that B minor, right? Coming in on the fifth. This is his bluesiness coming out. Fifth, fifth, 4, pushing through that flat 3, almost like you're going to the major third, and right on the root. It's all pattern 2 B minor. Right on the melody. G sharp, A. Again, you have to establish that and then go off. It is the tune. It is behoven of you. Channeling Jerry. Again, starting from the 4th through the 3rd, flat 3, 2, 2, flat 3, 1. There's that bluesiness where John adds, where Jerry might not have. I love that. Just snag that E, slide from B to A, through that G sharp, and then land on that E. Killer. Doing that. Remember I told you that before? It's the same melody. You're wondering how I picked this up. It's because I'm listening for the melody. B, A, G sharp, third of E, back to the A. So B minor, triad here, A major, E major. It's all just connecting triads with simple melodies. All right, that was stupid hot. Yeah. Ah. Something like that. Something like that. That's awesome, but to have it resolve, that's blues, man. That's something Mayer does so well. Something like that. Something like that. But you're going down basically a piece of E, a piece of B minor, piece of A, piece of E, piece of D, piece of E, piece of D, and then rocking over B minor. I mean, it's just... There you hear it again. Look at Jeff. He loves it. Establishing that melody, right? That chord melody. He loves it. What did you do there at the end? No. No, come on. I gotta move on. I'm butchering it, but he's ending it on like a low E blues type thing. Like, Yeah, that. Yeah. Yeah. 4, flat 3, flat 5 it. Right on. See, again, only he is doing that. Only he is doing that. All right, let me check my time here. Okay. This is a hell of a long video. Let's do it. Digging it out.
Ain't nobody messing with you but you. Your friends are getting most concerned. Lose with the Jerome, maybe it's your fight. But baby, don't get burned. And when the smoke had cleared, she said, that's what she said to me. You're gonna wanna bed to lay your head and a little sympathy.
Going up to that major third of A. This is what I'm talking about. If you know the notes in the chord, you can do this, right? You can start out the first time, right? Second time. Right? You can target the root one time, the third the next time, the fifth the next time, but it's all just connecting simple triads, major and minor triads, with simple melodies and using chromatics and bends and slide to embellish to make them your own. That's what the Dead has taught me so far from an improvising standpoint, from a melody and harmony perspective. There's so many other things to talk about, rhythm and phrasing and all of that. But that's what I've learned so far. And you know what? There's like 8 minutes left in this. For you guys that haven't seen the end of this, it's amazing. But this video is already going to be almost an hour long. So let me just stop it here and let me give you the key takeaways. 1, you get a commitment to the melody. The root of B minor, the root of A major, the third of E major. They all establish that. There's chromatics in each of them. You see Jerry really liking to go back and forth between that, the foundation of that melody, B over B minor, A over A major, G sharp over E major, to saying E mixolydian things, always mixing major and minor, to doing that, to saying something about straight A, and then always doing those, right? That's in everything. You see Mayer use those, but he also likes to use a lot of the lower strings on the fretboard. He likes to not just do the melody based on B over B, A over A, G sharp over E, but he also likes to use the fifths and the other thirds all the time in different registers. And of course, he incorporates a lot more pentatonic stuff and a lot more straight blues, which you can hear through all of that. Now, I know that is a drastic oversimplification, but those are the broad strokes. Again, if I was him, like he is him and did, and I was going to cover these tunes, I would spend days, if not weeks, on each tune and breaking them down to their minute detail. But if you do that, which you should, and I have been, but I want to do more, is that when you find something that's really cool, what that means is you can't get it out of your head, right? It is stuck with you. You don't understand why? Stop. Understand why. Get it in your head, in your ears, under your fingers, and not just note for note. The intervals, the melodic intervals that connect the chord functions, like you've seen me talk about this whole time. That is the key. If you do that, you can do anything else because you can make it your own. That's the beautiful thing. So that's the key takeaway. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the way that I play and teach and break this down, and you want a step-by-step framework for how to connect these basic triads with melodies, I hope you'll click the first link in the description and join me and many others over at my website, GuitarGate. It is custom made for this. It's all about using practical, basic music theory to connect triads on your fretboard. That's the whole thing. And my first of 4, I believe it's going to be, Grateful Dead courses is up on there. It's called a Jerry Garcia Primer, and it's all about everything you see me do, saw me did on this video. This is a long video. I can't speak anymore. But thank you so much. And please remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to subscribe. And again, for all you that meet me over at GuitarGate and subscribe over there and take my courses, it makes all this free stuff on YouTube possible. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys real soon. Whew. Who else you know one takes this stuff?